What up, what up, what up? Episode 18, The Rundown. I'm Gabe Henderson. Stevie Katz in the back, always on the ones and twos. And just like Stevie, always, Kyle Stackpole is aside of me with the bars today. We got a special guest coming in today, Kyle. I'm excited to announce it. Segment 2, Randy Jordan's going to be here. We're talking all things football, all things life. Ron Rivera, Jennifer King. It's been a busy, big week here at Redskins Park this weekend. I'm excited to, see, what's going to keep happening as time goes on. I mean, I feel like there's always something new each week going on here. And, you got the Combine coming up in a couple of weeks. Mm-hmm. You'll be there. You got, the draft. Free agency starts soon.
It's all coming.
It's all coming soon. And Stevie has a mic in the back, and she is ready to join the podcast today. Stevie, you hype?
Yep, I'm here. I'm excited.
She's excited. Let's go. So here we go. Start off with, Jennifer King. I mean,
that's the news. That's the big news.
That was a big announcement in the league. I'm not sure of her specific title. I don't want to get it wrong. I'm not sure if you have it, Kyle. But
I do. Yeah.
She's like the first full-time. Go for it.
Yeah, so the NFL posted on Instagram. They actually reposted our photo of Jennifer signing her contract. And so she's the first full-season African-American female coach in the NFL. Wow. So her official title is full-season coaching intern, and so she's going to work specifically with Randy Jordan and the running backs, and then also serve as the offensive quality control coach. So whatever way you want to slice it with her title or her responsibilities, it is a big deal that she was able to get this job, and she's definitely qualified for it. I mean, she went on Redskins Nation with Larry Michael, and just talked about her journey here. And I know you watched that, and you've read about her. So, I mean, what should fans know about Jennifer King, the newest Redskins hire?
She knows the game. She's played the game. She's played for the DC Divas. I mean, she understands the game of football. She understands people. And with her knowledge, I feel like she brings such a vast knowledge to the sport that a lot of these coaches might not be thinking about. We know that she was a police officer at one point. Mm-hmm. She's done so much. And to bring all that in and then hone that in, being a former player, also actually seeing the game and bringing all that in, using all of her interests and skills in life and putting it in a running backs room who is full of personalities in that room, I think it's going to be exciting and fun to watch. What about you?
Yeah, I think you hit it right on the head. I mean, she has that experience. I mean, she played for, I think she said she's played for 12 seasons, and she played quarterback, and she said that she played quarterback in 4 different offensive systems. So she isn't just someone who studies the game. She played it. This has been her life is playing football and then coaching football. And then not only has she played it, but she was an offensive assistant at Dartmouth. She went and coached under Rick Neuheisel, Arizona Hotshots of the American or AAF. And then she was an intern, off-season intern, the past 2 years for Ron Rivera in Carolina, first helping out with the wide receivers and then the running back. So she has a ton of experience. Yeah. She also was a basketball coach at Johnson & Wales and won the national championship there. So she's just very intelligent, football IQ, and she just knows how to win. I mean, a lot of places that she's been, they've been successful, and I'm really excited to see. I mean, Randy Jordan, he was really high on her, and it just seems like everyone who has either she's been coaching them or they've been surrounded by her is someone who's up for the task to do this job.
Yeah, I'm excited to see her get going. Last week you were at the Day of Qatar and sat down. Well, I guess Zach Selby was there, right? Mm-hmm. And got a couple of interviews with Doug Williams and Dwayne Haskins, and I think as a Redskins fan, listening to those interviews, it gets you excited moving forward. What was your biggest takeaway from those interviews?
I think just the faith that Doug Williams has in Dwayne Haskins. I mean, he did say, the coaches, they're not married to Dwayne Haskins, which, I mean, this is a new coaching staff. They didn't draft him, but he also said that Dwayne's a guy that he would have to give the job back to them. It is his right now, and he showed that at the end of the year that he is going to be that guy and he can be that guy. So I think he gave us a frank explanation of like, hey, Dwayne's our guy. We've seen a lot from him, but at the same time, he's going to need to prove it. Mm-hmm. So, and I mean, just Dwayne too was talking about how he's like, that's cool that Coach Rivera is challenging me to take over the leadership role. I'm going to do that. I'm going to become that guy, and it's going to be exciting to watch.
Connect with the Redskins this offseason. Follow Redskins on Instagram and Twitter for team news updates and exclusive Redskins content.
Sign up for FanDuel now and get $5 in total bonus. Just make your first deposit to get started, and you'll get an extra $5 in site credit. Go to FanDuel.com/FFT or download the FanDuel app.
Redskins defensive lineman number 93, Jonathan Allen, hates to lose. So he's teaming up with Papa John's and you to help donate to Sasha Bruce Youth Work, helping homeless children in our region every day. Team 93 needs you to make it a winning day for your family and these special children. You'll get a large 2-topping pizza and an order of wings for just $20. And Papa John's will donate 93 cents to Sasha Bruce's Youth Work for every single order. Play to eat, play to give, but play to win, because nobody wants to lose. As promised, we never lie to you. Got Randy Jordan on the podcast. How you doing, Randy?
Doing great, man. I appreciate you guys having me.
Man, glad to have you here. It's been a long, off season. I feel like January 1st, it was full go for us. I know we always talk about, January 1st, it's like night and day at the park. Season's over and then boom, everybody on vacation. But now, of course, Ron Rivera got hired. It was announced you were back on the staff. It had to be an interesting, month and a half for you. Describe the last month and a half for you.
It was tough. Not knowing where you're going to be, the season we had. The thing is, I'm very appreciative and very thankful that I can try to make it right. I've been here for going on 7 years now. And the best thing I could tell you is the fact that when I told my 13-year-old we didn't have to move, I don't have enough money. I told Coach Rivera, I don't have enough money to give you for that look that he gave me. He said, oh, Coach, I don't, being a coach's kid, having to move around, it can be very difficult. So I'm excited to work with his new staff. Work with the staff and just do what I can to help the Redskins win.
And then what was the process of you joining Rivera's staff? What kind of transpired that led to you being capped as the running backs coach?
Well, I think the biggest thing is the fact that I got an opportunity to interview, not only from a standpoint of football, but in terms of who I am as not only as a coach, but as a person, and how I treat my guys. And that's the one thing I really try to, when in the interview process, is really get them to understand that, I'm not just a football coach. I'm a guy that try to dig into these guys' lives, and I care about them, and I try to get the best out of them each and every Sunday. So I would imagine that some of that came through. I wouldn't be here today.
We always talk, I guess we were talking off camera, but for Rivera, him and Larry Michael interviewed Rivera down in Miami, and Rivera was basically saying, like, when he was going through the interview process of who does it bring, why should we bring this coach here? He said everybody was saying, hey, you got to talk to Randy. Randy's, I'm very impressed with Randy. But for you, what impresses you most about Ron?
Man, I tell you, I don't even know where to start. He's easy to talk to, first of all. And I just tell you this, when I interviewed and I had an opportunity to talk to him, he shared a couple of things with me that really, I can't really say on air. But as a head coach, just meeting him, I was just like, man, this is a guy I can learn from.
Nice.
A guy that I can not only develop as a running back coach, but as a human being, and possibly, sharing information that I may have an opportunity to, if I ever got a chance to be a head coach, that's a guy that I can really dig into and try to emulate. So, he's a guy that he's real upfront, in terms of what he wants, what he's about. And you can see it through his whole staff, throughout his whole staff. And I'm really excited to work with him.
And then there's a lot of young players, a lot of young talent on this team. What do you think Rivera and the new coaching staff is going to do for those players and do for this organization?
I think first and foremost, I think it starts from the inside out. Meaning that when I say the inside out, is the you've heard this word, I can't even. It's a football centric, kind of like a football centered.
Player-centric.
A player-centric, thank you, in terms of just knowing that, hey, when I come to work every day, it's just not working.
Right.
It's about chemistry. It's about the guy that you're playing with, hey, do I care about this guy? I care about this guy. You're able to go a little bit further. I think he's gonna change, and everybody uses the culture, but I think the big thing is he's gonna bring some freshness, some newness that we haven't had since I've been here. So I think the guys that are here get ready for that, and I think it's going to be a very, very good transition for our team.
Have you learned anything thus far about yourself, as a coach and as a man, just under his leadership in his, 2 months now as head coach? I guess, a month and a half now as a head coach.
Well, I would just tell you this. One thing that I've learned is the fact that you're always learning. I'm learning a whole new system, when you're just talking about football. And I'm really excited when it comes to that, talking about the X's and O's in terms of some of the things that these guys are going to bring with them in there. And because our tight end coach Pete's been around.
Yeah.
I mean, Pete's a guy that anytime I have a question about the playbook, he's the first person I ask. And they got to really string a hold on it, what they want to do, how they want to implement it, the off season. And Scotty's doing a great job right now just putting everything in line so that when those guys come back in the offseason, we're ready to hit the ground rolling.
Yeah, I was going to say it helps that pretty much the rest of the offensive staff has been with Rivera since he was in Carolina. I mean, you talked about Pete and then John Masca. I mean, they've been coaching for 45 years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, where do you see the offense going under Scott Turner and with these offensive staff, and where do you see yourself playing into that?
Well, I think the biggest thing is I think he's going to be quarterback friendly for number 7, and for any other quarterback that we have on the roster. That's number 1. I think number 2, I think that with the staff that we have, the thing that I get from it is the fact that the way they are diverse in terms of being able to put people in places so they can be effective. The key to a great coach, in my opinion, is putting guys in a position so that they can be effective and they can be productive, whereas you're trying to hide those little flaws. Like, well, that's not something you quite do. And I think that's the thing that I see so far in terms of all the little meetings we've had in terms of the imagination and opening up the field and getting guys in space. Obviously we've got, I think in my opinion, we got some of the younger sparks that we have on this team. In Sims and Scary Terry. So we're excited to see what those guys can do with this offense.
You talk about young guys. You got an older guy in your room, AP. But the way he runs, the way he operates, the way he just goes about his life, you would still think that he's a young guy who fresh legs, still doing what he has to do. For him, you've coached him.
Yeah.
These guys, they don't really know as much. Do you think your wisdom, like how does that wisdom transfer? I don't know if you understand how I'm asking the question, but like how does that work? Them trying to get to know AP, you saying like AP, hey, look, just let him be AP, and you'll get the best out of him.
Well, I think the biggest thing is when you talk about a guy like AP and these guys, Scotty and those guys, they've been around. I mean, they've been around one of the best players of our era right now, and Christian McCaffrey. Yeah. So I'm going through all these tapes, and one of the things I've always told coaches, anytime they say, "Coach, I can't believe you coaching AP." What? Man, how is that? I was like, I sit back and watch the show.
Yeah.
As I said, he's probably one of the hardworkingest guys. Humble. He's not who he is because it's just somebody handed it to him.
Right.
So the big thing is he wants people to be demanding of him, which I learned early. Hey, Coach Jordan, coach me just like I'm a rookie.
Yeah.
Okay, Chief, I do that.
Got you.
And so the biggest thing is those guys. Scott has worked with him in Minnesota before. So I think that some of the things, I think some of the things that history there, I think is going to be really, really good. And just as a footnote, when I first got him, we call this one route, we call it a wide route. So in Minnesota, they call it a swing. So I was like, that's not a swing, man. Dog, that ain't a swing. This is a swing. That's a wheel route. And so when we got back into the system, which he knows from his Minnesota days, he was like, Coach, I told you that damn route was a swing, didn't I? So now it's a swing. So we joked about that when he found out they retained me.
Man, that's what's up.
And then you talk about how much like he's a hard worker, but I mean he's almost rushed for 2,000 yards the past 2 seasons. what is the secret to him just continuing to be productive in an area and an age where running backs just aren't?
Well, I'm going to steal this, borrow this. He's got a mama mentality, man. I mean, like, he's a guy that he's never satisfied. He's never satisfied. I mean, you would think a guy of his stature, a guy that has played as long as he has, like, hey, man, I can rest now. But he ain't resting. He ain't resting. And that's the thing that I love about him is the fact that I knew he probably took maybe a week off, and then he's back in Houston or wherever he is, jumping on boxes and doing all these other crazy stuff. And he's probably going to come back and he's going to look like he reversed himself like Benjamin Button did.
I don't get it, man.
I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out. I said, hey, man, whatever you drinking or whatever you're doing, I need to get some of that. So that's the key is the fact that his mind is physically he's a freak. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
But his mind is probably his biggest asset.
Man, and I guess now just transitioning to, just your room. Now you got a room that's been talked about for the past, couple years, with the three-headed monster last year, but you got a guy who was injured that's coming up now. We all know was could have came out after his junior year of college, decided to stay another year, Bryce Love.
Yeah.
North Carolina guy myself.
Yeah.
So, I'm already biased towards him. But for you, what have you seen from him, and what should fans expect from him with him coming back this offseason?
I think the biggest thing is when you look at him, he's got a really good size about him. And, in terms of what you look for, about 205, 210 can really attack any area of the football field in terms of inside runs. You watch his senior tape, when he was at Stanford. But I think the thing is he's very humble. I mean, you know him, and being a North Carolina kid, I have a little bit of a bias towards him. I recruited him, but I didn't get him, obviously. And when I was at Carolina, but has a track background, so you'll see that speed, good vision, good contact balance, all the things you look for in a good back. But I think the biggest thing for him is the fact that his work ethic. His work ethic is, incredible.
Yeah.
And the thing I love about him, he's smart.
Yeah.
I like smart guys. It's
Supposed to be
okay to be smart.
Yeah.
Okay. And he's been in all the meetings. He knows how we operate in that room. So it should be just an easy transition in terms of going from the classroom onto the grass.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that because he was in all the meetings, but still hasn't, had an NFL practice. I mean, what do you think are the biggest things for him to make that transition as smooth as possible so he can come in when the meaningful practices and games start, ready to go, ready to contribute?
I think the biggest thing is he can't have, and I will talk to him about this. You can't rush it. You can't. Rome wasn't built in a day. And you just got to have a process. I know that word is used a lot.
Trust the process.
And trust the process is he has to trust the process. And I think if he continues to do that, just building blocks day by day by day, he'll be fine. The thing is that he's not missing. I think he's a guy that has his head screwed on right in terms of saying, hey, this is what I need to do today to get here, You can't start day one and get to the end of the season on day two.
Right.
So he continues to have that mindset, he'll be fine.
Man, we saw flashes. We talked about AP and Bryce Love. We've seen flashes this year of Darius Guice. When he's in the game, he makes plays.
Yeah.
For you, what's that transition been like from, last year not having him after the first game of the season, then seeing him make plays, and then now, he went down at the end of the year, but now you see him getting those reps, this offseason, wanting to. He got that taste of action now. So for you, how exciting is it for you to see him ball?
Well, I tell you this is the thing I tell him all the time. I say, you like when I get an opportunity to take my wife out, we go to a nice place. And you get ready to get that appetizer. I said, dog, we just had the appetizer. I said, that's all you did, And I said, I want the lobster. I want the steak. I want to enjoy it. And so I said, that's what you've done for me and for this whole Redskin nation, And I think the biggest thing for him is the fact that he's got every tool in the toolbox. Like he can do things that. is just, you guys saw it. Like, stiff arming, Shaq Thompson. I mean, just being able to create on his own. He has a good burst. He's got all the things you look for. It's just a matter of staying on the football field. And I tell him this all the time. Your best ability is your reliability and your availability.
Right. And
if you can do that, you'll be fine. But he's working extremely hard. I'm excited for him. He's a guy that brings instant juice.
Never a dull moment.
Never dull moment. You guys know that. And that's the thing I love about him. I would never try to change him, and I'm really excited for him.
Yeah, I remember that I did a Q&A with you during the season, and you said that Darius is a guy that could redefine the running back position with being that every down back that is just as good as a pass catcher as he is running between the tackles. And you talked about availability. What can he do to make sure that he's on the field or to become more durable? Are there certain things that he could be doing more of that you think would help him?
I think the biggest thing is he has to have a process. The great ones have a process. You have a process. You have a process. In your profession. And what I mean by that is, how do you go about your business? Are you getting enough sleep? Are you eating the right things? Are you spending time in the cold tub contrasting? Are you stretching enough? Are you adding new things to your process? Are you adding yoga to get more flexibility? That's the thing that I'm continuing to work with him, because it's not about getting him to that day where he's playing on Sundays. It's about the stretch in between.
Right.
So that, because the only thing you're doing, I tell him, and AP says the same thing. When AP said, it's like, oh, okay, AP said must be right? But you're breaking your body down each and every week, and then you're building back up. And that's the thing that we got to continue to work with him is that process. And your process, my process, doesn't look like your process.
Everybody's different.
Just because AP has a process doesn't mean that you can just plug and play and say, I'm going to do what he does. No, dog, you can't do what he did. He's been playing much, much longer. He may need a little bit more, or you may need a little bit less. So that's the thing that we're working with him, so that he can be available on a day-to-day basis.
On the lighter side, you talk about processes. AP processes during the week. I mean, I see him coming with boxes of pizza, donuts, but still, how? Like, I mean, you see him firsthand, and you see, he works out hard. He does all the little things, but this man still be eating donuts, man.
Let me tell you something, man. It's genetics. I mean, there's genetics, there's genetic freaks, there's genetic marvels. I mean, he's just one of those types. I mean, he reminds me of Ricky Dudley, which people probably won't remember. But he was a tight end that I played with. This guy could take about 4 or 5 weeks off. 4 or 5 weeks. Don't do nothing. And he looked like if he got a paper cut, he'll bleed to death, because he looked like he's just, his skin is just so tight. And it's like, dude, what you been doing, dog? Like, what are you doing, working out? Like, dog, I ain't lifting a weight in 4 weeks. Like, that sucks. But I mean, that's the thing about AP. He's a genetic marvel. And you ever seen his dad?
It's like 6'4".
So that will tell you, like that. Yeah, dad. Yeah, AP. Yeah, you still can play. You want to play? You want to get a couple of carries? Come on. So there's no explanation. It's just he's just a genetic marvel.
Makes sense.
Yep.
Well, I guess now Jennifer King, we talk about these three athletes. Chris Thompson, we don't know what the future is, but let's say if he's in the room too, you got Jennifer King, who is, made history. Yeah. I don't know the exact title, but she's made history, and now you get a firsthand look at what she can do. We all know what she has done, but for you, how excited are you to not only be a part of history and work with history, but to see her, dwell and thrive in the position of leadership?
Well, let me say this. I got a lot to say about this now. I tell you, I'm really excited. I really am excited for Coach King and being part of the staff. And the one thing that I really appreciate, I have a daughter that just graduated from the University of Buffalo. Giving my daughter Raven a shout out. And she got an opportunity to coach at Briarwoods, the JV team. You know what she did in her first year? She went 18-2, dog.
What?
18-2.
Get her on the staff.
18-2. And guess what? I asked her. I said, "Can I borrow a couple of those wins? Because we were struggling."
Yeah.
She was like, "Get your own." She tell my dad that. Tell your dad that. Get your own, right?
It's outrageous.
So, that's right. And so my thing is the biggest thing. It doesn't matter. You know, it doesn't matter. The thing that matters is what do you bring to the table? Her expertise and the things that she's done, winning national championships, the athlete. She's played football before. That's the thing that I'm excited about is the fact that you're going to have someone in the room that can be a sounding board instead of me.
Right.
Or another coach bringing a different perspective. Because sometimes what happens throughout the year, that noise, I start sounding like Charlie Brown.
Wah.
Coach, you saying the same thing. Where she may say the same thing, but say it in a different way or a different delivery that it kicks home. Long as it kicks home,
Right.
as long as it gets home in terms of what we're trying to get done. So I'm really excited to work with her, and she's going to bring a different viewpoint, a different perspective that we haven't had before. So I'm excited.
And then just finish up this interview.
Go for it.
You know, we talked about the new coaching staff, and we talked about the running backs coming back. Just in general, what can fans expect this season with the new regime and what a lot of people are calling the new era of Redskins football?
Well, I think the number one thing that you can look for is a team that's going to play smart, that's not going to beat themselves. You know, one thing I can tell you is that defensive side with Coach Del Rio. Yeah. I watched Coach Del Rio back in the day. And I know for a fact that he's a guy that's going to bring a lot of energy and a lot of juice, but he's going to be fundamentally sound in what they do on the defensive side. And on the offensive side, it's going to be the same thing. But I think the biggest thing is he has a reputation of having teams that are going to be very, very physical. That's what he had at Carolina. And people are going to be held accountable. People are going to be held accountable. People are going, and I think it bleeds into your play, is that you're accountable off the field to your teammates, to your coaches. You know, your play will be indicative in terms of how you're doing things off the field.
Right.
So that's what I'm looking forward to. We still got to complete the passes. We still got to block up guys. We still got to run through face masks, and we got to do all those different things. But the thing is, I think that the thing people will see is a more disciplined, more physical, more polished team that they've seen in the past.
Nice. For Randy, it's always a pleasure. I know.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, man.
Like I said,
enjoyed it.
first coach for everything. We always got to get Randy on because Randy set the tempo.
Oh, God.
Right, that's right.
Randy, appreciate you, man.
Thanks, man.
Yes,
I appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Did you know that the Washington Redskins are sponsored by Coke Industries? That's KOCH Coke. Their 67,000 U.S. employees make a lot of things that make game day better. Gurner Turf, they make that. Stronger paper products for tailgating, they make that. Oh, and electronic components and TVs and smart devices so you can watch a Redskins victory anywhere? Yeah, Coke makes that too. See all they make for on and off the field at kochmakesthat.com.
Looking for another chance to win? The 100K Scratcher replay from the Virginia Lottery is exactly that. Now through March 31st, any non-winning Virginia Lottery Scratcher offers a shot at winning $500 in a daily drawing or even a $10,000 grand prize. Here's the lowdown. Any non-winning Virginia Lottery Scratcher can be entered into a daily drawing. In each daily drawing, 2 players will win $500 each. Every entry into a daily drawing is automatically entered into the grand prize drawing, which is set for April 7th. On April 7th, one lucky player will win $10,000 grand prize. All entries must be entered either via valottery.com/replay or the Virginia Lottery app. The fun doesn't stop if you don't win on your Scratcher. Just replay it with the 100K Scratcher replay. Visit valottery.com/replay for more information. The odds of winning a prize in the $100,000 Scratcher replay promotion depend on the number of entries received.
Randy's such a great guy, and to get him to just go in depth about so many different topics, you can tell he's excited about Jennifer King. He's excited about this year. He's excited about Bryce Love. I think he's the guy when you look back, when we started the interview off with, his impression of Rivera, and I think he's just excited just to get going and then have the same core guys, AP or Guice, and then now Bryce Love. We don't know what Chris Thompson, his future may hold, but even if he's in the room, whether he's not, I feel like you still have a group core, a solid core of guys that can actually get going. And I think in his energy when he was in the seat right here, you could feel that across the table, and I'm sure Redskins fans could, feel that energy too. And for you, I know you were pretty pumped too off camera, but like, what was your biggest takeaway from his interview?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing was just
from his interview. Oh my gosh, like we didn't just do that. Go for it.
I think the biggest thing was just when he said that, like, his impressions of Rivera, how much that he knows he's going to learn from Rivera. I mean, he even said that, if one day he wants to become a coach, Ron Rivera is a guy that he's going to learn a lot from, is going to help him along the way if that's the route he wants to go. So, and I think the other thing is that he's not just learning about football. He saw right away that Rivera is a people person. Randy said, he talked about the player-centric culture and how the players are going to be the priority. But it's also, you're not just coming in here, and he's not just coming in as the running backs coach for the Washington Redskins. He's another human being, I guess. There's more to him than just what he coaches. And I think that starts at the top with Ron Rivera, and I think Randy is the same way. So I thought that was really cool. I mean, Rivera's only been around for a month and a half, and you already hear Randy talk about him like he's known him for a while. So It was cool to see how enthusiastic he was.
You brought up a stat. AP almost has rushed for 2,000 yards in the past 2 years. Stevie, I got a question for you.
Yes.
Adrian Peterson, how many yards do you think he rushes for this year? Over or under 1,500? Well, over or under 1,200? 1,200.
12. Put it at like.
Well, I would say
put it
say
at like
he would go
1,000.
Over 1,000 or over 12?
Oh, yeah, definitely over 1,000.
Okay.
Definitely over 1,000.
I would say so. He was almost there this year.
I would say over 1,200.
Yeah, I would say probably right around 1,200.
Okay.
Give or take.
What about you, Kyle?
I'm not going to answer this question.
Come on, bro.
I need to see what happens. You have Darius Guice. You have Bryce Love could be in the mix. You have
they can
free
still get their
agents
yards
that could
too.
be in the mix. I don't want to pigeonhole myself and be like, oh, I don't think he's going to get it, and then all this stuff happens. So
I just think for AP, just seeing what he's done his past 2 years, even over his career, and I just can never count him out. I mean,
you shouldn't.
It's just one of those things. I'm just like, hey, if AP told me today he's going to rush for 1,000 next year, I'd be like, all right, cool. And Guice can do the same thing. I honestly believe, Bryce Love would be one of those third down guys. So that's really not his goal. He's just, fit in where he can. I think the biggest thing, and where Randy Jordan said, you just want to make sure he doesn't rush it. You want to make sure Bryce Love doesn't rush it. So I think it does make sense for, your AP, just like similar to last year, your AP and not Bryce Love, but Darius Guice to get the majority of the carries and just complement each other in that way. I think with John Matsko here and, Ron Rivera always wanting to, run the ball, like, hey, let's establish the run. Of course, we got a big quarterback who's going to throw the ball down the field, but man, why not have two 1,000-yard rushers? Maybe I'm thinking big picture here.
No, and the thing is, when Guice and Peterson did rush for almost 100 yards each, that was against Carolina.
Exactly.
So Rivera saw firsthand what these two can do together.
Exactly.
And, yeah, I mean, obviously you guys heard Randy talk at length about both of them, and he's really excited about both of them and what they can possibly do together. And then in addition to Bryce Love, who, like you said, could – really add a nice change of pace. So they have a good, I mean, we talked about it last year, but they again have a really good group of running backs, and they're going to definitely be used a lot under this new staff.
And last thing I'm going to say was Randy Jordan said that you can tell Ron Rivera is going to make the offense based around the quarterback. And I guess in this situation,
quarterback friendly
offense, and in our instance, it would be Dwayne, because Dwayne was the last guy on paper. The quarterback position's still up in the air. Dwayne has to win that job this upcoming year. But I think, if Dwayne's that guy, I feel like he's going to thrive in this offense.
And he also talked about getting playmakers in space.
Right.
So Steven Sims and Terry McLaurin. And he said that there's some offenses that there's some stuff that guys don't do well that you maybe ask them to do. And Randy said, hey, that's not happening here. We are going to fit the system to the personnel. And that's going to make us that much
how
more
you do it.
efficient. And that's how you have to do it, because why would you limit someone's abilities just because it fits your system? You have to be able to adapt. So that was really good to hear.
Nice, man. Well, we got a special feature next week. Dwayne Haskins and Doug Williams did a Black History Month feature talking about their, some of the obstacles that they had to overcome to get to where they are. We all know that Doug Williams went to Grambling, Dwayne Haskins went to Ohio State. So that connection between those two guys, both ending up as a starting quarterback for the Washington Redskins, I think it's going to be a very interesting dynamic. Episode 1 or segment 1 will be on Redskins.com on Friday, this upcoming Friday. I don't know the dates. I think today is
What's today? Wednesday?
The 12th. So February 14th, Valentine's Day.
All right.
So you got some
see the love between Doug Williams and Dwayne Haskins.
I couldn't think of anything more clever than that. So see the love between Dwayne Haskins and Doug Williams. Really interesting treat for you guys. That's all I have.
And then one more last thing. If you love us, be sure to subscribe, listen wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts. You can watch us on Redskins.com, the app. Listen to us on Stitcher. We always got to get Stitcher in there.
Spotify.
We're really giving Stitcher a lot of a pub.
Tune in. Thank you, Stevie.
So wherever you listen, if you like what we're doing, if you like the interview with Randy Jordan, we're definitely going to try to do more of that as off-season workouts start and more people start coming in, because
it's about to start.
It's about the players, rolling, it's about the coaches, and we have questions, and we just like to have more conversation. I can't always talk to Gabe, so
I know, man. It's tough talking to me sometimes. I get it, bro. Tough talking to Stevie too.
Hey, watch it.
Nice. Well, Stevie, if you want to know why we are on all of these platforms, it's the amazing work from Stevie Katz in the back. So make sure you guys subscribe to our channel, listen to us, like us, whatever you need. For Stevie Katz, Kyle Stackpole, I'm Gabe Henderson, and this is episode 18 of
The Rundown.
Are uninvited pests ruining your plans? Let PMSI, the pest control partner of the Washington Redskins, handle it for you. Call today for your free inspection, and they'll work around your schedule to provide you the best solution possible to defend your home territory against pests of all kinds, including mold. Visit mypmsi.com for the game plan to control the pests on your home turf. That's mypmsi.com.
At Coke, our 67,000 U.S. employees make things that make your game days better, like fertilizer for greener turf and stronger paper products for tailgating. Viewing the game from your couch? Coke also makes the electronic components in TVs and smart devices so you can watch your Redskins victory anywhere. Coke, we make that. See it all at KOCHmakesthat.com. That's CokeMakesThat.com.
Winter is the season for adventure, and if you want a car as exciting as your lifestyle, then it has to be an all-wheel drive Honda SUV. With more features, the CR-V has standard Honda sensing, more room for friends, the Pilot has seating for 8, more comfort, the HR-V has available heated seats, and more rugged. The Passport is built for adventure with ample cargo space and hidden storage compartments. Winter adventure is calling, and Honda is ready to answer. See your local Honda dealer today.
Hi, I'm Darryl Green. I think true success is when you've reached a goal and have also helped others along the way. I'm a founding board member of Main Street Bank, a local business-focused community bank. As a community bank, you'll find Main Street bankers at your places of worship, at fundraisers for charitable organizations, and at civic clubs, teaching financial literacy classes and many other activities to benefit others in our community. I invite you to bank with Main Street Bank, mstreetbank.com. We bank where you breathe. Member FDIC.